we are going to look at the two sets of parents of Krishna. The Krishna avatar, Devakī, Vasudeva, and Yashoda, Nandagopa. What is the deeper message that is coming through this story? Kamsa wants to kill the child that he believes as the possible slayer of his own self. They get to witness that. So Devakī and Vasudeva are actually witnessing the divine four-armed form holding Shankha, Chakra, Gada and Padma. Gokula, the location, is symbolizing playfulness, freedom. There is all communal level affection, the joyful learning atmosphere for a child. Children need two things, security and love. Yeah. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namo Narayanaaya, Jai Shri Ram, Om Shri Matre Namaha. Welcome back to the Clay Studios oil painting vlog number 72 of Sri Vishnu Sahasranamavali. This is a painting that follows the principle of calligram or micrography, using which 1,000 names of Sri Vishnu are getting painted. While that is going on, I'm also trying to understand the deeper meanings lying under these names with the help of scriptures from Sanatana Dharma. Whatever I am learning as an amateur, I'm sharing with you via these weekly vlogs. In a vlog, typically I'm covering 10 names and their meanings, and then we drift into storylines of Sanatana Dharma, taking the tangential perspective to understand few of those names. We have covered up to 700 names in our previous vlogs. If you haven't checked it out, please do so and come back, because though we are covering 10 names in each of the vlogs, you will see that there are deeper interconnections, and I will be constantly referring back and forth to the previous vlogs. More deeper you understand, the more interesting it is for you to compare and contrast, and maybe you will also find some beautiful nuggets that are useful for your practical life, personal or professional, any which ways. With that, let's look at the plan for today. Today we are going to look at the 10 names, 701 up to 710. Then we are going to look at the two sets of parents of Krishna. The Krishna avatar, Devakī, Vasudeva, and Yashoda, Nandagopa. What is the deeper message that is coming through this story for today? And that's what we are going to look at. But before that, yes, let's look at the names and the meanings first. Starting with 701st name, Om Satkritaye Namaha, refers to the act of the good ones, or one whose achievements are for the protection of the world. So the achievement itself is for a global purpose. Let's move on to 702nd name, Om Sattayai Namaha, referring to living in the path of the good or experience that is without any difference of an external nature from similar objects or dissimilar objects, as also indifferences is called Satta. So this is like avoidance or beyond indifferences. 703rd name is Om Sadbhutaye Namaha, refers to the splendor that is goodness, the Paramatman, who is pure existence and consciousness, who is unsubtractable and who manifests himself in many ways. And I think this is also a very important name to understand. He manifests himself in many ways, and there is often this question, and I think I have touched upon this question also in previous vlogs, but just for you to have the thought here, that we always look at very different gods and goddesses, demigods in this religion called Hinduism, or the whole Sanatana Dharma as such shows so many variants of it, and there are definitely good and bad aspects. You constantly see there is differences, inequalities, and maybe behavioral contexts are also very different from one another, and this is also a name that is summarizing the whole. Why should it manifest itself in so many different variants, and why should there be good and bad? I think this is also a way to understand the whole world. There are personalities and there are different personalities. When they engage together, there will be challenges, and how do we mitigate these challenges? So this is, may I say, leading by example way of the Paramatman manifesting in so many different ways and playing it around like a play for us to understand visually, oh, so that's how these characters behave. There is something good and there is something bad, and learn from that moral of the story. So that's the summary that I can share to this. With that, let's move on to the 704th name, Om Satparayanaya Namaha. The one who is devoted to the good path, he who is the highest status attainable by holy men who have realized this truth. 705th name is Om Shura Senaya Namaha. One who has heroes as his army, or another context is one having an army of heroic warriors like Hanuman. Yes, so there is not just one personality, there are so many personalities, and there will be personalities who are commendable heroes or warriors within the whole framework of army that the God is creating, the Supreme is creating. And that is again his own manifestation, isn't it? Moving on to 706th name, which is Om Yadushreshthaya Namaha. One who is born as the foremost among the Yadus, or the greatest among the Yadus. Yadu Kula is also called the Kula of the birth of Sri Krishna avatar. So that could be the context here. 707 is Om Sannivasaya Namaha, which is he has his abode among the good, or one who is the resort of the holy knowing ones. 708th name is Om Suyamunaya Namaha. Refers to one who finds the good path on the banks of the river Yamuna, or one who is surrounded by many associated with the river Yamuna, like Devakī, Vasudeva, Nandagopa, Yashoda, Balabhadra, Subhadra, etc. So this is exactly the context that we are going to go into in a short while from now. So let's move on to the 709th name, which is Om Bhutavasaya Namaha, the abode of all the elements in nature, or he in whom all the beings dwell. 710th name is Om Vasudevaya Namaha. This is referring to the son of Vasudeva, or the divinity who covers the whole universe of Maya, by the Maya. The divinity who covers the whole universe by the Maya illusion. So the son of Vasudeva is what we are also going to look at. So with that, we come to an end of these 10 names and the meanings. Of course, we have a lot to touch base here with Lord Krishna, the Yadukula, the Yamuna river, and the banks of the river have both the parents. So yes, now that we are done with the names and the meanings, we are going to jump directly into the story of the two sets of parents of Krishna, Devakī Vasudeva and Yashoda Nandagopa. And what is the deeper message for today? So this is a very profound aspect of the life of the Krishna avatar, where the God himself desires to have two pair of parents. the biological parents Devakī, Vasudeva, and the foster parents we can say Yashoda, Nandagopa. Before we go into that, I just wanted to touch base that we have touched upon Krishna's life as a baby in vlog number 16, where he is showing the world or world's universe in his mouth to Mother Yashoda. Vlog number 57 also covers the power that withdrew and protected Balarama, and that story also covers in vlog 57 why he had to be transported into another place to other sets of parents. So please do have a look at that. I'm just going to quickly summarize here. The biological mother's cousin brother Kamsa wants to kill the child that he believes as the possible slayer of his own self. So he believes that the children are dangerous, and then he captivates his sister and brother-in-law, that is Devakī and Vasudeva. And in that context, we had seen the challenges the couple had to face with the children, and finally the child that is born as Sri Krishna also had to be shipped immediately out of the space to another location just to safeguard the child. And that is the context in which he is being moved from the biological parents Devakī, Vasudeva to Yashoda and Nandagopa. So let's look at the choices that the Lord himself has made here. Why did Krishna choose to be born in one home but raised in another? If he is the one that is playing out this play, why did he choose this kind of scenario? What is the universal lesson that he is trying to teach the world? Let's dive into that with the help of some of the scriptures. Yes, from Shrimad Bhagavadam. So, we are now looking at Devakī, Vasudeva, the birth of the divine. So, the birth happens in a restricted atmosphere. Let's say that people call it's a home arrest. It's also called as a jail. But let's say that is a prison where the couple are put up, and they are at this moment giving birth to a child. And in Bhagavatam, Shrimad Bhagavadam, Canto 10, chapter 3, verse 7 and 8 cover a little bit on the appearance of this baby. The moment Krishna appears in this prison of Mathura, it is described in that stunning level of detail. Tam adbudam balam amoga darshanam chaturbhujam shanka gadade udayudam. Adbudam, the wonder, the child, Balam, there is a beautiful, wondrous darshan or the view with 4 hands, the way you see in this painting. Chaturbhujam, the Shanka, Chakra, Gada, whatever you say. So that's the vision even the birthing mother and the father get to see. And they get to witness that. So Devakī and Vasudeva are actually witnessing the divine 4-armed form holding Shanka, Chakra, Gada and Padma. Yes, so that is the view they get. So they already understand that what is born is not just their own child, maybe it's a divine formation. But by divine grace, they also forget what they see so that they are able to act to the situation and take the child out, carry the child out safely into the waters of Yamuna river and take him across the banks of the river to the other side, where he reaches safely at the hands of the other pair, Yashoda and Nandagopa. Yeah, so Krishna is also reassuring them because they are in a state of trance. They are unable to believe what's happening to them. So he is also reassuring them in this the very same canto in Shrimad Bhagavatam, chapter 3, verse 32. He is saying, Janmate mai anuttama mrisha ma vaishta badram vo. Do not fear. Your son is eternal and unborn. So the way the message is getting across these parents is that, they have to just go beyond their thought process, because they think that the physicality of the child looks like he is born, but he is not born, he is eternal. So that is the view. And if you look at the duty of Devakī and Vasudeva, there is to also tell a narrative to us. And what is that? There is faith under pressure. There is Dharma in the face of tyranny that they are facing. Yeah, courageous surrender to the divine had its own motive. That is exactly what is coming out of that. So they gave birth to Krishna in the condition of darkness, and the birth itself is symbolizing that light is born even in the harshest of the circumstances. So that is the meaning of that couple, the parents, the role play. Yeah. Why is he leaving them? Is he afraid of what's going to happen? He is arranging everything. He is the one who asks in that divine form. He asks that Vasudeva, you need to take me to Gokula immediately. And Yogamaya, which is the feminine form of Krishna himself, so Yogamaya arranges everything to happen. What goes on is another level of trance that they are, the couple are entirely in, so that they are able to do the task that they are able to do. And what is the message that is coming up? Why Krishna is leaving? Biology is giving the life, yeah, but there is destiny here, and destiny determines the environment in which the divine mission has to unfold. So the biology is done, the job is done, now destiny has to take its shape, and that environment where the destiny and the mission has to unfold is another environment. Let us look at Yashoda and Nandagopa, the parents that are inheriting this divine, yes, parents of the heart. She is a beautiful mother that is blissfully unaware of what is happening to her, because she is also tired of giving birth to her child. She doesn't know of the replacement of children also. So she doesn't know that instead of her biological child, there is another child now lying next to her. She's so pure in the heart, she's unable to understand anything that could have possibly gone wrong over the night, or gone right rather, over the night. So she is fully in as the biological mother, thinking of her, imagining herself and taking on. And this is what we covered in vlog number 16. So we are not going to go into that detail, but if you look at the relationship that they had, he has been highly, active, very naughty and troubling Yashoda, the mother. And she also has been, very, very stringent and going around, running around him. And there's a lot of, interaction, and he allows this to unfold itself in this playful manner. So even though Krishna is the Lord of all the worlds, he allowed himself to be bound only by Yashoda's love. So there is also a moment she's unable to control his actions, and she's tying him with a rope. So even that happens. So similarly, Nandagopa is also, praised as having that extraordinary punya or benefits that he must have gained, because of which he ends up being the foster father of this child. Gokula itself is a location. So it's not just, is it just Yashoda Ma and Nandagopa who are taking the responsibility? But if you look at the way the child is growing up, it's the entire Gokula that is involved. Entire city is involved. All the people are symbolizing something. So Gokula, the location, is symbolizing playfulness, freedom, there is all communal level affection, the joyful learning atmosphere for a child, isn't it? So Krishna needed this environment to reveal his human sweetness. This Bala Gopala, everyone even loves and cherishes, that aspect had to come out there. But ultimately, his life had a larger purpose, and that is something we have touched upon in one of our vlogs from Bhagavad Gita, Canto 4, verse 8, where he said, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha duskritam dharma samstapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So, ultimate purpose that he had to manifest was, I am manifesting age after age to protect harmony and restore dharma. So that was the ultimate reason. But why this playing around happened? Why do we, if you just had to manifest, you could have manifested like Narasimha Avatar, coming directly into the game, thrashing the demon, doing it like that. Why this game of having biological parents, foster parents? What is the reason behind it? And what are we learning from this? What is the deeper learning that is coming, message that is coming for today's world? First point, the parenthood is not only biological, it is also emotional, ethical, and spiritual. So, in today's world, of course, millions have adoptive parents, step parents, guardians, and mentors. So this is a validation that Krishna is giving to all. And love determines parenthood and not the DNA, not necessarily the DNA. That is the first point. What else is can we learn from this? Children need two things, security and love. Yeah. So Devakī and Vasudeva had the role play to ensure safety and survival of the child even in dire, darker circumstances. Nandagopa and Yashoda, they are ensuring nourishment and joy for the child. So there is this complete package, but it is divided in two sets of parents here. So the complete upbringing depends on this protection and affection that we are giving to a child. Third point, society raises a child. It takes a village. Not just one family. Society raises a child. And that is a very strong message coming from this Krishna avatar. Krishna grew up in an entire community. Gopas, gopis, there were elders, there were friends, there were cows, animals. Today's world of isolation, this is something it reminds that children thrive in a community spaces filled with shared responsibility. Everybody believed that it was, Krishna was their own. They had a right to argue with him. They had right to, share things with him, fight with him, enjoy with him, dance with him, sing along with him. There is so much of this community support that you can see, that's so important. Unfortunately, we don't see that much, but it's so important for children to thrive. Most important point, another one, trauma doesn't define destiny. Look at the dire circumstances of a supreme being's birth. Birthday is such an important day. Where was he born? In a prison. Death threat. That's exactly where a child was born. But his childhood became the most joyful chapter of the entire Shrimad Bhagavatam. It's so pleasant. It's so juicy to enjoy. I keep smiling when I talk about it. So this is the beginning of the child, isn't it? So your beginnings not necessarily define your future. There is also the environment involved. So provided the environment is the right environment and the right choices we take, it could be bringing in a solace to the trauma and shaping a very beautiful destiny maybe. So So trauma does not necessarily define destiny. Dharma can require unconventional path, and that is the fifth and the last point that I would like to share. Dharma can require unconventional path. Krishna's separation from Devakī and Vasudeva, it was not just an abandonment, and you will see that at a different point in time he comes back to them as well. So it was actually an alignment with a larger purpose. Sometimes life's path is not even traditional, but it could be dharmic. So you might be wondering, why this, why me, why do I have such relationships? Sometimes some people are feeling very happy and pleasant and blessed with the relationships, but some are not, unfortunately. But maybe there is a dharmic reason behind it. It's hard for us to imagine when we are not in a very good space, when the environment is threatening. It's hard for us to see the real big picture, but maybe there is something beyond that, and maybe that is something we need to look into. So, in summary, Krishna teaches us that parenthood is the divine in every form. It has its own divinity in every form, whether it is biological, foster, adoptive, or chosen. It could be divine in any form. Through Devakī, Vasudeva, Yashoda, and Nandagopa, he's shown in that love and duty and purpose weaves the family far deeper than the bloodlines that we are looking for. Yeah, if you really understand the whole picture and maybe take something for the personal life, maybe it's a little hard for your life to or your personal self to understand at this point, but all I could say that whatever you are going through in a personal life, whenever the time is and the manifestation happens, that you are able to understand the bigger, larger purpose of serving something, it will all make some sense. At this point, I'm just reminded of some supreme souls. If you have thought of the life that they have chosen, and the childhood maybe they might have had. One is the life of Gautama Buddha. He was born as Siddhartha Gautama, that is supposed to be the king and belong to a royal lifestyle, but he chose something at a different point in time, because that was his destiny to become the enlightened, the Buddha that we know of. Another person that I could think of is Mother Teresa. Where was she born? What life could she have possibly had if she had continued in the same environment versus where she went on, and what she went on to become is history. Yeah. So again, there is a larger purpose, and mind you, they both were definitely put to so many levels of challenges that they had to face, and maybe they had to face it for a larger purpose, to show us something, show us a path maybe. So that is the message that I wanted to share here through this. If you have enjoyed this exploration, please do like, share and subscribe. And until we meet in the next session, stay blessed, stay happy, stay healthy and stay motivated. Thank you. Bye-bye.